Let's jump right in. Today, we're unpacking something pretty special. On the surface, the Bookshop Cat might just seem like a charming little tale about a feline who loves to read, right? But if you really look at it, it is an absolute masterclass in how passion connects us. In this explainer, we're going to deconstruct the true power of storytelling by looking at 5 incredibly specific, pivotal sentences that drive this protagonist's journey from total isolation straight to a massive community triumph. So, we've got a really fun roadmap for this explainer. We're going to hit 5 key milestones today. Going anywhere, being anything, the perfect feline job, everything on these shelves, following the adventure map, and finally, a sigh of happiness. Starting right off with part 1, going anywhere, being anything. Picture this for a second. You've got this black cat, right? And he comes from a family that is just constantly on the move. I mean, they are a literal lineage of action. You've got a grandma catching mice, pastry chef parents baking away, a dancer grandpa, a mechanic brother fixing things up, and sisters who are literally in a band. They are always doing, fixing, and performing. But our black cat, his passion is just reading. His brother even hits him with that classic line, "Reading isn't a job." So right away, we have this intense clash between tangible physical output and the quiet, seemingly passive pursuit of stories. And that brings us to the very first key sentence we really need to unpack. When he's challenged by his highly active family, the cat just replies, "With a book, I can go anywhere and be anything." That sentence right there? That perfectly captures his profound defense of his passion. He isn't just sitting still. In his mind, he is experiencing endless lives. Honestly, it's the ultimate defense of why any of us read, to totally break the boundaries of our physical world. You know, escapism usually gets a pretty bad rap, doesn't it? People treat it like a mere distraction, but here, it is entirely transformational. The cat doesn't want to fix cars because his imagination, frankly, demands way more variety than that. He leaps onto a bus, cracks open a book, and just purrs, exploring the physical city and the infinite universes inside his books at the exact same time. All right, moving on to part 2, the perfect feline job. So our cat spots this help wanted sign at Violet's children's bookshop, and his tail just flicks. This is our second anchor sentence, reading, "If there was ever a job that was made for him, this was it." This is that magical light bulb moment where a deep personal passion suddenly aligns with a real, tangible calling. He straight up tells Violet, the shop owner, that he has paws, he loves books, and he really wants to help. Connecting those dots is just a beautiful representation of finding true purpose. Up until this exact point, the cat's love for reading was entirely internal. It was solitary. Now he's taking something he simply loves to do and transforming it into a meaningful contribution for other people. He takes that transformative escapism we just talked about and turns it into genuine service. He literally becomes the bridge between these incredible stories and the children who need them. And he doesn't just, sit around reading on the clock. He takes total ownership of this space. He cleans, he tidies, he reorganizes the shelves, and he orders piles of new books. He even places this super comfy armchair right in a sunny corner, which is obviously a very feline touch. He is actively building a sanctuary for imagination. Which brings us to part 3, everything on these shelves. And here is our third huge anchor sentence, spoken with so much pride by the cat to his new customers. All you could ever want is right here on these shelves. Just think about the confidence in that statement. He's taking his earlier belief that books let you go anywhere and offering that exact same limitless potential to every single child who walks through those doors. And I mean, he absolutely delivered on that promise. The shop offered an incredible, wide-ranging variety of subjects. We're talking books about animals, the depths of the oceans, epic adventures with astronauts, wild villains, and magical unicorns. He made it his absolute mission to help every child find their perfect book. Because of that dedication, the children's bookshop became busier than it had ever been. He truly found his place in the world. But, every good story needs a conflict, right? Things take a pretty drastic turn. A sudden crisis completely isolates the shop and just breaks the cat's spirit. On day 1, heavy rain breaks down his usual bus, a pipe burst inside the shop, and the streets just flood completely. By day 2, nobody comes to the shop at all. And by day 3, the devastation is total. The cat just curls up quietly, he stops purring, and tragically, he stops reading entirely. His physical disconnection from his community literally severs his connection to his deepest passion. So how do they fix this? That brings us to part 4, following the adventure map. Violet and the cat's family come up with this wild, brilliant plan to bring the books directly to the world. First, that highly active family, the pastry chefs, the mechanic, they all step up to help. And just like that, the cat begins to purr again. Next, they stash books in super unusual spots all over the city. Playgrounds, doctors' offices, the beach, even sitting right next to the bananas at the grocery store. Finally, they tuck a secret note and a map inside every single story. They take a massive crisis and turn into a city-wide treasure hunt. That hunt is driven by our 4th key sentence. Imagine being a kid, finding a hidden book in the wild, and reading this. Your adventures are just beginning. Follow the map to find out more. Come on, how ingenious is that? It's a promise that the story doesn't just end on the final page. It actually bleeds right out into the real world. This is just a masterclass in community action. The bookshop was completely cut off by the floodwaters. They could have easily just thrown in the towel and accepted defeat. Instead, they proved that when people can't come to the stories, well, the stories must go to the people. Pulling off that logistical feat required Violet, the cat, and his entire family of go-getters. It shows us that even a solitary act, like reading, really thrives on a strong foundation of community support. Finally, we hit part 5, a sigh of happiness. This is the payoff. As the children find the books and follow their maps all the way back to the source, they rush into this beautiful, revitalized space. And that gives us our 5th and final key sentence. The bookshop itself seemed to sigh with happiness. What an incredibly evocative line. The cat is switching his tail, purring his loudest purr, but notice how the narrative focuses on the building itself feeling the joy of the children's return? That's not just some neat little writing trick, by the way. That use of personification beautifully bridges the gap between a physical building and emotional connection. Think about it. During the flood, Violet noted that the bookshop seemed to sigh with sadness, feeling totally forgotten. Now it breathes a sigh of happiness. It tells us the shop isn't just retail space. It's a living, breathing member of the neighborhood that only truly thrives when it is packed full of imagination. So pulling it all together by deconstructing these 5 sentences, we really get to see the profound real-world impact of literacy and community. It proves that a love for reading absolutely does not have to be an isolating experience. When you pair that passion with a sense of purpose and the backing of a community, like an active family and a dedicated shop owner, stories become a literal beacon. They can guide people through a flooded, isolated city right back to a place of joy and connection. Knowing that a single book can let you go anywhere and be anything, and seeing exactly how one little black cat used that passion to change his entire city. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on today. The map has been drawn. Where will your next adventure take you? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep exploring those shelves.